Hello, everybody. My name is Camry, and welcome back to my podcast. In my podcast, I make videos regarding self-help, spirituality, pop culture, anything really that I want to talk about. So today, I actually have something I really want to touch into revolving self-evolution and personal growth. So today I just wanted to have a little bit of a conversation regarding clarity and just feeling like you can let go and that good things are coming. I feel like good things are really gonna happen for me and I can just feel it coming, but I'm at that point right before everything's about to get really good, I think. And it's crazy because I've been thinking about that and it keeps presenting itself in my life. And if you've listened to my podcast before, you know that I like to take note of certain things that continuously show up throughout my week, I just take a lot of signs. Like I feel like there's so much significance in just things you see in your everyday life, or if you hear something over and over again. I really feel like that is getting to, I feel like that's the universe's way or whatever is trying to show you what to do or like the path you should take. And so this topic has been like very heavy on my mind, and I came across a YouTuber recently. He goes by Hindz, I believe, like HINDZ, and he does like videography like under the name like Hindsight, I think. But I've pretty much just recently discovered him, so I don't know like the ins and outs of his professional life, but he is really, I've been looking to him to kind of get my mind at ease, because when you're given a lot of free time, you sometimes are given a lot of free time to think and overthink. For some of us, mainly me, like I overthink a lot about a lot of different things, and so I've kind of just been in like a continuous loop of that, it felt like, for a little bit there. And so his videos kind of helped me to get out of that and refocus what I need to focus on. And I feel like certain videos show up on my For You page or my feed on YouTube for a reason. Like, yes, the algorithm, of course, but also like I need to hear some of this stuff. And I came across one of Hind's videos, and he was talking about how he was talking about this notion that was kind of exactly the same as what I was just saying, like that point where you're about to pop off, where you're about to get super successful. All of your hard work you're getting paid off for that finally. And he called this the eruption point, and it's kind of like when you're about to reap the benefits of everything that you've worked so hard for. And I feel like I'm in that eruption point. And I feel like so many people around me are also in that same like eruption point. And we just have to be patient with ourselves. We just have to know that good things like this is gonna happen for us. And the eruption point is a really exciting point, because you know that you're about to get that level up. Like, you're going to be at the level up, but before you can get to that next level, sometimes you have to go to a low point before you can get back up, right? So sometimes I feel like sorry if you guys can hear background, I literally live in Brooklyn. And also sorry if I'm like not looking at the lens. I'm trying like actively, as you can see, like I'm really trying, but bear with me. I feel like for me, when I'm approaching my eruption point, it's usually when I've gotten to a pretty low point in my life. And sometimes I feel like we need those types of low points to like realign our trajectory of where we need to go, like, or put things into perspective. Like, I know that the universe got me, God got me, like whatever higher force you believe in, I feel like that's got your back if you really believe it does. And it did. Like, I just went a couple weeks like not really knowing where my life was going to go or the path that my life was going to take. But I've been going through a vibe of like not really 100% sure like where my life's going to take me or the route I'm going to take. And I've just been like battling back and forth with that in my head, like periodically, of like what I was gonna do. And then, things look up and an opportunity presents itself, and I feel just like my life is going the way it's supposed to now. And none of that would have happened if I didn't take myself out of the situation I was before. And I feel like that's why I almost love when chaotic things happen to me in my life, or when I just do things on impulse, because I'm almost excited to see how I'm gonna handle it, or how I'm gonna like adapt to the change, or whatever I'm gonna do with this situation, or how I'm gonna flip this inconvenience into like a beautiful thing. And so I just feel really good right now. And I think the eruption point is back to that and what I was saying initially. I just think it's really a great point. And like, if you're feeling like that in your life, like say you're about to graduate college, like for me, I'm literally never gonna have to go to school again if I don't want to. Like, I'm pretty much done with school, I think, for right now. I'm getting my bachelor's, and I am ready to open this new door and close the last door that might have been my comfort zone for a little, but I'm ready to close it and open a new one. And I'm ready for that next level, that eruption point. I'm ready to see like what comes from it. And I hope if you're feeling like you're at this similar point, then you feel excited rather than nervous to go into this next level. And really just don't hold back. Like, don't hold yourself back, because we can really get in the way of ourselves. And I've realized a lot that I can get in the way of myself, and just by having a lack of, not even confidence, but like, I guess the confidence, like a lack of like, you can really go all in. But another point I wanted to make regarding clarity is that a lot of the time, to achieve clarity, you need to almost remove yourself from a situation. Or like, also Heinz touched on the fact that clarity arrives when your mind is at ease. When your mind settles, that's when things become more clear. When you're stressed, or you're like thinking about a million things at once, or this could happen here and this could happen here, then you're not really able to like see the bigger picture, because you're so focused on every little thing that's going to get to the bigger picture right now. But the bigger picture is forming, and you just have to like know that every little thing that's happening right now, every little step that feels like it might be so much, sorry about the noise, if you feel like there's so much going on and you're never gonna get out of it, or you have so much on your plate and you don't know how you're gonna do it, just know it's going to pay off one day. Like, take it from me, I've always had to work 110% at everything that I did, working and going to school, like, and I was able to make it through. So if I can make it through, you can definitely make it through. And the biggest thing is, stop trying to like understand why things are happening. I feel like trying to control and understand your life is like the biggest contributor to misery, because we can't control what's gonna happen. Like, you're just not gonna be able to. Like, you might want to really, really fucking bad, but you're not gonna always be able to control every little thing that's going on. You're not gonna be able to control how a relationship ends up in your life, or if this person leaves your life. Sometimes you can't control that, and we just have to understand that maybe shit isn't working out for a reason. Maybe these people maybe this situation isn't working out how you want it to for a reason, for a bigger purpose, for you to acknowledge that you shouldn't be in this situation, or you're better to be in another one. But I personally struggle with that a lot as well. Like, I am always trying to understand why things happen, and it even goes into like when I'm sleeping, like I'm trying to like analyze like why things are happening. I'll have dreams of myself like trying to figure out a situation, and it's like, what? Let me shut this window. But yeah, it's really like, if you just slow down and be present in the moment, you just can find so much more peace. Like, when I just like chill out and stop stressing about like every possibility that could happen, or could go wrong or whatever, I'm like so much happier. Like sometimes I'll just have days where I'm like, you know what, F this. Like I'm gonna have an F it day. Like I'm just gonna do it, whatever, what the fuck ever my body tells me to, my mind tells me to. And it's just good to just stop and just be like, this is beautiful, dog. Like stopping and smelling the roses, you know? It's really important to smell the roses. And constantly like thinking about the future is good, you know, like planning for your future, thinking about a plan that you have for your future and how to achieve those goals you have set for yourself. That's important, but also don't just stress so much on the future that you can't even like handle or be in your present situation. Because I feel like one day, like I'm 24, I don't want to look back and be like, damn, I wasted all those prime years like stressing the fuck out or like being so worried about this inconvenient thing that didn't really matter. Like I don't want to be one of those regretful people. And I think finding clarity really helps us to be as far away from those types of people as possible. And sometimes to also gain clarity, you need to subtract yourself from the scenario completely in order to get like a clearer perspective. And I was watching this video one time on Instagram, and they were saying that like if you look at the Empire State Building, say you look at the Empire State Building and you're at the front door, it just looks like a front door to you. It's just like, okay, cool. But if you step back and look at the edit in its entirety and see that it's like actually this fucking ginormous, beautiful architectural masterpiece building, then you'd be like, whoa, the Empire State Building. And then you can see it once you're subtracted further from the situation and can see it as a whole. Then you understand the bigger picture, you know, or you understand the steps that it takes to get to the bigger picture. But I think that can be used in a lot of ways for us, like in relationships, if you, or in your work, if you feel stuck in your work and like stagnant and like you can't get to the next part and you feel like you don't know what you're working for, like don't try to understand it. Just know that you're working towards a bigger picture. Try to look at it from a further perspective, because sometimes we're like in such farther places than we really realize that we are, and we don't give ourselves nearly enough credit. And sometimes I forget that years ago I dreamed to be where I am today in this position. And you guys should think about that too. How many of you have dreamed like 5 years ago that you're going to be where you are now, and you didn't even realize that you would accomplish that dream because you were too busy and too stressed trying to focus on the next goal to accomplish? Which is, it's good to be a driven person, but you know, allow yourself to feel rewarded in the moment and rewarded for everything you've done up until this point. Like, we have to remember, like I said in my like most recent video, we got to be kind to ourselves, and you know, you just gotta be patient with yourself and know that it's just gonna be all right. If you stop putting in so much effort to try to control what direction your life is gonna go, and you focus on just notice the path that life is trying to take you. Sometimes if you don't get a job, then it's because you're gonna get the next one. Or if one thing fails, maybe that's just because the next thing is lined up for you, you know? But yeah, just look at inconveniences as like maybe life was trying to protect you from a path that wasn't destined for you or wasn't meant for you. And yeah, just take it as that and don't sit in inconveniences. I feel like that's such a problematic stance for us to do, is to like sit in our inconveniences or sit in our failures. So don't do that. The next point I kind of wanted to discuss is being patient with yourself and your process, and mainly focusing on the quote that you bloom with care and not speed. And that can go for a lot of things, specifically me with my podcast and things like that. Sometimes I'm not always super consistent with what I post because, you know, trying to perfect my craft or make it better or just get to the next level of it. And It's because I know that good things do take time, and you don't want to rush something just to get it out. You want to make sure that you're putting your heart and your soul into it, your energy. And once you put in the passion to work towards something, it shows. If you really care about it, it shows, and it reflects in your work. So just honestly I'm trying to be more of like a patient person for myself, because I'll really try to like be on a schedule of like do this, and then I end up not putting my all into every aspect of things that I'm doing. So it's pretty important to just be patient with yourself and let yourself take as much time as you need, or don't let yourself feel over pressured by the tasks you want to complete, because they should be handled with care, and sometimes that equates to a lot of time. I did want to circle back to another point that I found in one of Hein's videos as well. He was putting stress also on the fact that when he's in a place of uncertainty, he focuses on being excited rather than scared. Like I was saying earlier, like replacing like a nervous or scared feeling with excitement is like a game changer, because then you kind of take the control back and you're able to, without even realizing, control the situation because you're excited about it. And when you're excited, it's like he puts it as like an adrenaline rush. It's kind of like, ooh, what's next? Like, what are we gonna do? What path is it gonna take? Like, I don't know where my life is gonna go right now, but I'm excited to see where it takes me, that kind of thing. And instead of rushing and being like, what's next? Like, start to change that into, what can I make the next chapter be? Like, I think that's where the excitement comes from, is what you can make into the uncertainty, like where you can go from this uncertain point. And the possibilities are really so endless if we just reframe our minds to adapt to uncertainty and change, and know that we're gonna be all right, and stop fearing for the worst, and stop always stressing on shit that could happen just because it could happen. Whatever you do, basically just don't give up. Failure is necessary. Don't let, that shit can knock us down for a second, but don't let it keep us down. We have to learn to pick ourselves back up after failure, or things happen that we didn't plan for, we didn't want to happen. Like, there's gonna be days like that, there's gonna be times like that, and that's okay. We need those to evolve. We need things like that to kind of set the tone for how much we can improve, or the pace that we were at in that time that we failed. We can always use it as a benchmark to get better and succeed more. And keep going and not giving up, even if you feel like even if you kind of feel like your shit is pointless, because it's never pointless if you care about something and you're working towards a goal. It's not pointless. Keep trying, because what's the worst that can happen? Just try. I want to close out the video kind of today just talking about showing compassion to your enemies. Showing compassion to your enemies is kind of just like being the bigger person. Like, once you just are over all of the ego-centered animosity that you might have with somebody, it's just down to the fact of like, you just hope that those people can get better. Once you're good with yourself and you're not on some envious or malicious timing, it's like, you just hope that all you can do is pray for your enemies. But yeah, basically just don't give up. Keep focusing on your goals and try to look at things from a bigger picture perspective, and don't get stuck and hung up on little things. And be compassionate to your enemies. People that don't want to see you win, they might just have their own bitterness in themselves and things that they have to work on. So just pray for them, show compassion for them, keep it pushing, because it's all you can do. Thank you guys for coming and talking to me today. I did get my hair cut, by the way. So let me know what you guys think about that. I'm gonna try to get the next episode out to you guys on Saturday. So yeah, thank you for listening to another episode of You Will Be Fine. And yeah, you can listen to this on Spotify, Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts, wherever you usually listen to your podcasts. And I just hope you guys have a peaceful, calm day and don't let anybody get on your nerves, you know? Not worth it. Let's choose to be the bigger person today. Let's choose to not give a fuck about what any of these people say. And let's choose peace. Because at the end of the day, peace is all that's gonna hold this world together. Whoa. Okay, well, I'm gonna go enjoy my ever fleeting youth. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.